everyone. Welcome to another episode of Life Chat with Viv and Vil. We're so excited that you join us today. I know it's been really hectic these past days. I don't know if it is for you, Vilma, but we are at our 51st show. Can you believe we
Oh,
have done over 50 shows this month? A matter of fact, I think this week was our first year anniversary. Happy anniversary, Vilma.
oh, thank you. Happy anniversary to you as well.
Well, thank
Of,
you.
of the first show. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
To your question, it has been a very hectic week, um, beginning from the weekend. So I do understand what you are saying, but life goes on, and this is why we choose to continue with live chat with Viv and Vil.
That's right. You have a new glasses? I
I
don't remember seeing those before.
Well, I don't wear it as much because I'm a little vain when it comes to wearing my glasses sometimes. So, but it has been about 2 months.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because I know I remember you used to have the ones that go like this.
Well,
So,
well, well. I still have them. I hope our listeners recognize that you don't really look at me.
I
You
guess
know,
not. Well, I
everybody,
had surgery done that I don't have
she
to wear
doesn't
it. That's
look.
how vain I
She
am.
doesn't look at me, people. She does not look at me.
Well, I
So,
said, well, I had surgery done, so that's how vain I was.
so is that your excuse?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I got LASIK surgery done. But anyway, so this month is not this month, but this weekend is the Memorial Weekend.
Yep.
Yes. Do you have any plans for this weekend? Oh,
Uh, do I have any plans for this weekend? Well, now that you put it in my head, I think I'll probably take the grill out. It's been locked away for so long, over a year. My
wow,
goodness.
wow.
Yes. So, yes, I think I'll take it out. But guess what?
What?
I can't invite people because we do not cook as we used to,
Hmm.
and my vegan options that I want to cook, a lot of people probably will not enjoy it.
Hmm.
So it may just be a little thing with my husband and myself.
You're not gonna invite your daughter?
Well, she has an open invitation, but maybe we just want the two of us. Just the
Mm,
two of us. Make it.
romantic. Anyway.
So what are you doing for this weekend?
Well, this weekend I have a big party coming up.
Okay. Was I invited?
Yes, you're invited. It's my big party. Hmm.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Oh, I have a big party coming up and celebrating my birthday. I think this is, believe it or not, I never had a party in my entire life.
Oh,
And this
wow.
is my first party. And
Mm.
I'm throwing myself a party. So there.
After all, I agree with you. You want something, go out and get it. Because not
Exactly.
everybody is gonna, celebrate your or toot your horn. So you make sure that you know where the horn is so you can toot it yourself.
Exactly.
Happy
So
birthday.
my mother said she would do the party, she and my husband, but those two, no. I'll plan my own party.
But
So that's
anyway, Vivian, in their defense, you
mhm.
are not an easy person to please.
Oh, cool.
So
Well, maybe that's true
I
too.
can see them stepping back
Hmm.
and say, go ahead and plan it. We'll give you some money to help you with it.
Well, that's true too.
Not
You have a point there.
Yes,
That just might be the point.
absolutely.
Exactly. So, anyway,
Absolutely.
guys,
So do you have a theme for your party?
yes, it's going to be a throwback party. We are doing a 70s and 80s shindig.
All
So,
right.
we want people to come dressed in their 80s and their 70s outfit. Invitation only. So,
Yes.
sorry, not invited.
Are
We
there any,
love you guys,
are there any
our
restrictions?
audience.
Are there any restrictions?
Restrictions. Well, I'll require that people get their COVID test done.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many phone calls in regards to the vaccine. People already got their vaccine. So I decided to waiver if they have their vaccine, then they don't really have to go take a COVID test again because I had
So
so many complaints about that.
do they have to show proof of vaccination?
Yes, they do need to send me proof. And speaking of that, being that we're planning to the country, and matter of fact, the state of Delaware, I don't know if you know this, but the state of Delaware opened up fully,
Yes, yes,
and
I see
yeah, and they're
that.
starting to, not wear masks, and people start coming out more.
Yeah, so we
Did you
have
notice that?
absolutely. I saw that, and I am ambivalent. I'm happy, but
Hmm.
I see it as a reintegration back into the society,
Hmm.
not only for Delaware but for the United States and a whole. And
Hmm.
I know that they different states are doing different things. Some are doing it slowly, like a slow rollback. Some are just opening the doors because people, it's like you're caged up and you're ready to go. The gates are open and the horses dash
Hmm.
out. But when I think about it, it's a welcome change. It's a welcome change. But I know that there were a lot of concerns about not wearing mask around if you're fully vaccinated and you're in a crowd. So at one time we had to wear mask if you're fully vaccinated and in a crowd indoors, especially. And then they say no mask, and people were a little bit upset and people were confused, and they didn't know exactly what to do, so they had to be more clarifications out there. So some people choose that they will continue to wear masks, but what I would say is if you are more comfortable wearing a mask when you are indoors with a crowd of people who are not vaccinated, then so be it, because you want to be comfortable. You don't you so whatever makes you comfortable, as a friend of mine would say, whatever floats your boat,
Hmm.
then you got to do that.
Right. And I
So,
agree. And I agree with you too. Well, I'm not vaccinated, so I try to still wear my mask. And I think even if I were vaccinated, which I will be in a couple of months, um, I'll still wear my mask because you never know. It's not 100%, and you don't know what strains is going to be out there or whatever happens. Because I don't think we can keep our eyes off the mark and get totally ignoring. I think in life as usual. I don't think we're ever going to have life as usual.
mhm,
It's going to be a different type of way of living. That's
mhm.
my thoughts on it.
Well, I'm fully vaccinated,
Hmm.
and I've been for a while, but I will wear a mask if I'm uncomfortable. If I'm unsure of the status of those people that I'm getting around, I will wear a mask. Of course, I am not going to be in any very large gathering for a while. And, although the state has opened up, then I'm still going to take things slowly. I'm not going to just go buck wild out there. I'm going to take things slowly. So when I think of reintegration into the society, I think about the church.
Hmm.
I think about workplaces. I think about the restaurants. I think about the shopping mall. I think about not having wearing masks. And I'm wondering what it's going to feel like the first day when you look around and nobody's wearing a mask. Do you think we're going to be a little bit apprehensive in general, even months from now when they say no mask required anywhere? What do you think?
Well, I think, for me, I remember back, I'm going to put it this way. I remember um, for years I used to see the Asian population. I'm in the store and they have their mask on still. You know, they were the only ones in the store have their mask on. And you wonder why are they wearing a mask? And you go certain places and they still wear their mask regardless because they're used to it and they know the situation or circumstances they've been in the past. And I think maybe I'll be one of those people who I mean, maybe the only one in the store have a mask on. But I think that a lot of people will be going um, above and beyond not wearing the mask, but there's still going to be people who will still wear their mask, I think. Um, you know, you're talking about integration in church and various location. I saw in my church, particularly on Sunday, a lot of, you know, I think it was the biggest crowd I've ever seen. And a lot of people had no mask on. It's almost like they feel like freedom and it's party time. But I myself, with my kids, I had my mask on. And you see maybe 12 people had their mask on. Everyone else had their mask off. Maybe 10 people. I don't know. But it wasn't a lot that had the mask on Sunday. So people are looking forward to go back, quote unquote, as usual. But, you know, hey, my thoughts is that there may be some people, a few will still wear the mask, but other people, I think they will just be totally happy not wearing it at all. That's my thoughts on that.
Mm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, and you know, some people will be happy to return to church because we have been I know we slowly went back to in-person service,
Hmm.
but some people still did not return to church. So I think it's going to be a welcome change for them, you know, going back to church and seeing their friends. And if it means continue to wear your mask, I won't be insulted if people wear their mask around me. I do think that, again, I go back to you have to be comfortable with doing it. I may or may not. Again, it depends on the people around me and my level of comfort.
Hmm.
But, you know, that is going to continue, I think, for a while.
Yeah. And what about those individuals? Because I know I've been in situations where I go to church and people say to me, "Oh, you know, God heals," or "Oh, you know, you people are so afraid." You know, I think that people need to start thinking about, like you said, those people who are free to wear masks around you. You don't have any judge. You're not judging them regardless. I think people need to able to think about that, not thinking negative about an individual who wearing a mask. And there's nothing wrong with wearing a mask, you know. And I don't know if you have ever experienced that, but I've experienced that multiple times since I've gone to church. People come to me and saying, you know, stuff like that, like, oh, you know, a lot of people are afraid, and I'm like, I'm not afraid, you know, or I haven't experienced anyone who was afraid, you know, or they say stuff like, you know, oh God heals. Of course I know God heals, but you know, let's not think about judging people because they're wearing a mask. You don't know why they're wearing a mask.
But anyway, God heals, and I have not even 1 second of doubt in my mind about that. However, He has given us the ability to use our judgment about certain things. He does not want us to deliberately do things. So if I know that if I walk up to the fire and touch it, that I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to get burned, and I still go up to the fire and touch it and burn my fingers because I want to show people that God can heal my burned fingers and miraculously restore them, that's foolish thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that is giving um, credit and putting God in the right, let me say, in the right place of who He is.
Mm-hmm.
And God does things miraculously, but there are consequences to doing things that's outside. of what
Mhm.
he of his will is. So if I deliberately put myself in danger or in harm's way just because I want to show people certain things, then I may end up dying, because there are a number of people who have died
Mhm.
because they refuse to wear the mask. They have gotten very sick, and those who recovered, I've heard of them. I haven't heard personally from anybody who came near to dying, but I've heard that they say never again would they do that. They would gladly wear their mask. They will gladly go get vaccinated.
Mhm.
So I don't want anybody to bring that to me, or I will not listen to them. I lost my father-in-law um, early in New York from COVID-19, and another family member, a cousin,
Mhm.
as well as from COVID-19. There are several nurses who worked in New York who lost their life. So it's a real thing. And I am not going to try to prove God's um, healing powers by deliberately getting something um, from that I could avoid. So
Right. Right.
I don't subscribe to that at all.
I like that. You don't subscribe to it.
No, no.
Yeah.
What about going back to work in the workplace? I loved working from home.
Mhm.
I was like spoiled working from home because my husband and myself both work from home. I'm upstairs, he's downstairs. And the good thing about working from home that we would 90% of the time be able to have lunch together.
Mhm.
And so that was good. But now I do have to go back, but it's not until September.
Mhm.
And
See,
you work all the time from home, correct?
yeah. So
Right.
you going physically on campus?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they're not allowing you to work from home at all?
No.
Oh.
Well, we are open up, and but I do think that working from home and using the virtual lessons and virtual teaching
Mhm.
will be here to stay. And
Okay.
I
That's why I was kind of surprised.
I don't think they will use the excuse again as why certain people can work from home, but certain jobs do require a face to face. For example, um, in my profession, most times we need to be face to face.
Mhm.
And although we were working from home, but our students had to be face to face in the hospital or any other agency because
Mhm.
that was required of them. So I know we would have to go back to work, but if I don't have a clinical component attached to the class that I'm doing, we can always do it from home.
Do you think that society on a whole, because, well, let me frame this question to you. Do you think that being that we've gone through this and a lot of companies are, they see now that their employees are being effective and efficient from home, do you think that a lot of companies going to downsize?
Maybe my thinking, maybe not downsize, but they will not downsize in terms of
For people,
personnel,
but
but in terms of buildings.
right, exactly. That's what I
Right.
meant.
So they can have smaller building, pay less rent,
Mm-hmm.
and have people working from home.
Mm-hmm.
If they have been productive. So it takes away the excuse that you cannot work from home because it's not allowed. There was, we just went through it where we had to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a number of employers had to change their thinking about working from home and allow people to work from home. But I also think that it was good for them because your electricity not going, your you're saving on water, you're saving on, you know, during the summer here, you're saving on your, yeah, you're not using your fan. You know, there are certain things that they're saving on.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you use more at home. So I don't know if they will come up with a way in where they can compensate you, give you a little extra because you're using your electricity more than you would, you know, working from home. I don't know if they would do that, but I think it's welcoming for um, a lot of employers. What about going out to
That's a good thought though for them to give us a stipend for our electric and our internet services. That's a good thought. I
restaurants?
didn't even think about that. But no, I don't think they're going to do that.
What about restaurants? How do you feel going back out to eat?
No.
Restaurant.
Well, I did go out to eat a couple of times during the pandemic. So I didn't really, we didn't go out as much, but we did go out to eat a couple of times. So and I did see other people in the restaurants, even when I went to pick up food or whatever it may be. People are still out and about. I know some people are saying, "Oh, they finally opened up the country," but people were still going out. I still see, I went to Philadelphia. Some of the bars are crowded, the streets are crowded, the restaurants. They had people. I went to New York. What was it last weekend? Last weekend, the restaurants were packed. You know, I'm like, people were living. The way that the news sometimes make it sound like no one is really doing anything, but people are out and about, surprisingly. And imagine now it's summertime and they lift all these um, barriers. It's going to be, to me, going to be worse.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I've been out. I went out a couple of times because one, I started cooking, and two, I just felt like I wanted to be out there. And
Hmm.
initially, the first couple of times I went out, I really went out because I thought of the people who were not employed, the waiters and our servers, as you call them, and the money that they were missing. So I did go out for that reason, but very, very, very minimal, like one or two times. And I tip generously during the time, especially smaller restaurants, because I know how difficult it was for them to
Hmm.
maintain their doors open. But I I don't I like to cook, and I can't use the excuse that there are no vegan options. There are lots of vegan options. So I will go out, but going out with friends,
Hmm.
that's the thing that I am gonna like more than anything else. So you can go out as a group. But when I went out, it was just my husband and myself, and once my husband, myself, and my daughter. So, going out with your friends in a group and just having a good time, I am looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, awesome.
What about shopping? You plan to go shopping, use up all the money you saved?
Well, I'm one of those people who shop online. I hate shopping. I do. I hate shopping. I'm one of those online shoppers. I go, some women love going shoe shopping. I'm one of those women who get overwhelmed when I go into a store with all the shoes. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not typical with the shopping, and no, I'm an online shopper.
Okay.
So how about you?
I haven't been shopping. I'm not a big shopper,
Oh,
and my husband told me I need to get some clothes that fit.
it's bad when your husband has to tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's bad, but it's good because my clothes are bigger than what my body is right
Hmm.
now, because I did, make a effort that I would not put weight on, instead of I would take weight off. I was
Mhm.
not going to put on a quarantine 10 or 15.
Mhm.
So, my clothes now, they're big. So I don't think they are fitting as well. So he said, you need to go get some clothes. But I will say, if you give me the money, then we'll go get some clothes.
I like that. I like
Oh,
that. Yeah,
oh boy, I'm telling
definitely.
you.
Yeah.
So that's reintegration into the society. If you ask me, I think people are going to be hesitant as much as it's there, it's open. People are going to be hesitant. They're going to do it a little at a time and, you know, to their comfort level
Exactly.
before we see a full opening. But back to what you said initially, I don't think it's going to be business as usual. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yep, definitely.
So, did you learn anything from this last year and what, 14 months, about a year and 3, 4 months, 16 months?
Well, one thing I have to say is, you know, remember starting out a year ago, we started this show, and made reference to that. I've been asked to do a show like this for a long time, and it took me so long to say yes. So I guess through quarantine, I've learned to not be bashful from a camera, and even doing live now, we doing this, and I'm doing a Instagram video each week and putting up on my Instagram
Oh,
page or feed or whatever you call it. So I've learned to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and doing that, I guess now is nothing to me now. It's nothing for me now to, be in front of a camera or
mhm,
do my little videos or whatever. So I've grown where that is concerned, where I don't want to be in front of a camera, and the things that makes me uncomfortable is basically learning that the things that I'm afraid of, or not afraid of, but uncomfortable with, sometimes it's the same thing that's going to help propel you towards your destiny
mhm,
and getting you where you need to be. So I've matured in that sense of
mhm,
not want to be seen, not want to be, taking pictures or being on video, whatever it may be. So that's one thing that I've learned and done differently this year. I have to say that it's a total different Vivian now when it comes to, being seen, and letting myself be seen and heard out there in media world.
mhm. Well, I've become more creative
Mm.
because, of course, I had to do almost everything using Zoom, or something on the internet. I learned patience. Things I just have to adapt. So I was creative, I was adaptive with a number of things, and I appreciated health and life much more
Mm.
than I did, because seeing the thousands of people here today, gone tomorrow because of COVID, really put a break on things to just appreciate life, appreciate each other, and knowing that you don't know what is going to come, and put a stop to your world, and then everything that you have acquired or that you went after now means nothing, it's useless.
Right.
So I really appreciate that, and I also got to not be on social media like Facebook as much, because I realized during the whole issue of being locked down what some people's thinking were. The things they were putting out on Facebook, especially around the Black Lives Matter movement and the racial um, challenges that we face,
Mhm.
and just to listen to some things and hear some people's thoughts, it really made me reconsider.
Yeah,
It made me
you're not the only
reconsider.
one that have said that too. That they, people who they thought they were really cool with, through this pandemic and the racial unrest or whatever that happened this past year, that they had to reevaluate the people who they considered to be quote unquote friends, or people who they saw, now they see them in a total different light. So
Mhm.
you're not the only one that I've heard that have said that. And yeah, it's been it's been uh, um it's been different for the past 15 months. And do you think there's more things to come?
If I think I'll see more things,
Yeah.
I think I'm open to expecting anything, because when we started out with COVID-19, I thought a month, 2 months, but it took us through 15, 16 months.
Hmm.
And we don't know exactly when it's going to end, really, really, really end.
Hmm.
So, will something else happen? I don't know. It's up to what God has in store to allow to happen, or what He will do to get our attention. I don't know. But, anything can happen, and I just have to be prepared,
Hmm.
about it, and just relax and depend on Him.
That's right. That's right. His provision is always there for us. And I
Yeah.
know, audience, it might seem like we're just chit chatting, but we're just reflecting basically on.
Yeah, we're just chit chatting. Right.
Yes, we're chit chatting. It's life chat with Viv and Vil. But, we just want to talk about the things that's current, and want to just take a time to acknowledge that, yeah, mass is going away. The society is reopening, and see how it has impacted us, or if it didn't impact us, or what's your thoughts about that. So let us know your thoughts concerning these things, and how you're dealing with the reopening, you're dealing with the integrating, with the churches, the restaurants, work environment. And let us know what your thoughts are, and how you're feeling, and how you're dealing with it.
Hmm.
Right, Velma?
Yeah, yeah. One of the great things, as we, wrap this up, one of the great things that I am excited about are the young adults, the children and young adults who will now be going back to school, and will
Mm-hmm.
be able during this summer. Of course, most schools are closing this summer, but they are going back in the fall. But most, they will have camps, so they can reintegrate with some of their friends. So they will be going out to camps, they will have activities, they can go to the park. And I'm grateful about that, because something that we probably don't talk about much is the psychological effects that COVID-19 has had on our children
Mm-hmm.
and our young adults. It has had a really, really significant impact when it comes to suicide, when it comes to eating disorders, when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to loneliness. And what we are seeing that is happening is the fear of going back into society. So
Mm-hmm.
whereas on one hand I'm saying I am happy that it's opening up, they are fearful, because being away from their peers so long, it's like a awkwardness in socializing with their peers again, because they may have put on weight, they may have a few acne or things on their faces. They may have not been doing well in school. The friends who they had may not want to be friends with them again. So there's this social anxiety that we see happening. And for those at the older college age, I know, or I've heard personally of people telling me, not reading in the papers, a total of about 5 people who have committed suicide. Um, during the pandemic, and there is an escalation of eating disorders. And as a matter of fact, Vivian, I think that we really should get a psychologist who could come in and talk about these things, the psychological impact on our children and our young adults, and people on a whole. It has impacted us in all different ways. So we could have them come in. What do you think about that? And do a show on that.
Yeah, I think we earlier when we started, we did a show on that too around COVID. And I think it's good for us to bring it back again to make people aware and to have things that they can do to combat these symptoms or
The
thoughts,
effects, right?
right, of
Mhm,
the COVID and the things that they're going, of, especially integrating back into
mhm,
society. You
mhm,
know, yeah, you're right. People may have that thing of, how do I, my friends still my friends, how am I going to deal with, maybe I put on weight, different things like
mhm,
that. And
mhm.
probably, yeah, probably it's good too to talk about how we can lose that 10, 15 COVID pounds, have a weight, someone in
A
nutrition
nutritionist,
on,
right?
yes, on, and talk about that too, because, hey, we all need to lose about 10, 15 or 10, 5, 10 pounds, especially when you're getting up there. But yeah, that's a plan. I really, that's a topic that we really do need to talk about.
Yep. So for our listening audience, if you want us to talk about that, let us know. Send us your ideas, and we will try to get a show where you can enjoy that.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So you know, we appreciate you guys joining us each week. I know one person said to me, my sister-in-law, she said to me, wow, you guys still going strong. Yes, we're still going strong, and we continue. And we do like the fact that you guys comment. We do like the fact that you guys are continuing with us after 1 year. And let us know, like Doma say, what shows you want and what things that, I know a lot of people comment about the financial shows and shows with the men that we had on and different things like that. But we do appreciate not only our audience, but we do appreciate our guests that have joined us over the
Mhm,
50 shows that we've done. And
mhm.
we do appreciate you staying tuned and keeping up with us on Facebook and on YouTube and on Vilo GH Radio. We thank you. We thank you. And we love you guys. And have a happy, happy
Memorial.
Memorial Weekend.
Yes. And I
It
think the weather is going to be good.
is. What's the temperature?
For Memorial Weekend, I think it's going to be high 70s, low
Okay,
80s.
that's good. That's
That's what
good
I
weather.
think. Yes, yes.
Well, enjoy the sun, everyone. And this is another episode of Life Chat with Viv and Vil. Goodbye.
Bye.